Welcome back. This is Marketplace Ministry Chaplain Anthony James, where we healing takes place. And just community. We're all about the community. We're all about lifting one another up. We're all about just connecting, collaborating, and back on live and direct. Yeah, everything is good. You know, God is really, really moving in these times. And, just to recap, like I was saying a little while ago, to recap community, just trying to connect the dots with organizations, with churches, with businesses, that's going to support what we're trying to do in our communities for the betterment for our communities. And, just following up on what we talked about last night, basically, somebody put out their cliches. I'm really not really a debater about anything. I'm just a person that's trying to connect the dots and then go do what we're supposed to do. I don't have time to debate with anybody. You know what I'm saying? Either we have the answer or we're trying to get the answer to what we need to do. I just believe from years ago, from centuries to decades to whatever, people have just not came together like they supposed to. And I believe this is the time. This is 2020. I'm not talking about the 1600s, the 1400s, the 1800s. We're talking about 2020, where now we have an opportunity to really seize the moment and really to connect with each other, like-minded people, but at the same time, people that understand the magnitude of oneness, and that's how we're going to get it done. You know what I mean? I just believe that, whatever we got going on is God is pushing us in these times to really, make a difference and make an impact on society, in society, so that way some, questions can be, and that's what we on, community awareness, community involvement, because you can be aware and still not be involved. So what's going on, my brother?
What's going on, Chap?
Good with you.
Putting that work in, man. Putting that work in, man. That's all that is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right. Introduce yourself, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. How y'all doing, man? Keith Henry, co-founder of Marketplace Ministries. God souls to God, man. First priority, first and foremost. God souls to God. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, we was talking last night, just covering some bases, basically community involvement, community awareness, you know what I mean? Just some things we were talking about last night, just thought about some things last night, but, as we were talking, like, I just believe things are going to pan itself out, because that's what it's about. It's everyday movement. You have to just, whatever God gives you, whatever God tells you, whatever somebody alerts you to, is just always something to look and pay attention to. So, but yeah, this community awareness, this thing is huge. And, I just feel like, me personally, it's just time to move. You know what I'm saying? It's just time to move, because a lot of times we get caught up. People get caught up. Anybody can get caught up when there's too much talking, when there's too much conversation. You understand? A lot of times, and because it goes so lengthy, and sometimes people hear differently, people look at things differently, and so it's just time to really move. If we're gonna really, I believe, if we're gonna really hit this mark, what God is telling us to hit or calling us to hit in these times of 2020. You know what I mean? With all this stuff going on, the pandemic, we have these protests going on. We have these young people out here protesting. We have older people that's trying to get in and do some things. I think the problem really is two people coming together, old and young. I think that's always been the problem. You know what I'm saying? I think that has always been a major problem, because people say, well, I know this, what y'all doing now. I've heard older people say what y'all doing, I done forgot about.
Right.
Meaning that really don't make sense, because if they really was wise, they wouldn't say that, because the young people should be a reflection of the future, just like the older people should be a reflection of the past. Because without the New Testament, without the Old Testament, wouldn't be no New Testament. So both parties is important. And so I think people put weight on this and that instead of saying, no, we all are in this thing. You're not in it by yourself. You're not in it by yourself. So we're all in this thing so called life. So we all have to figure this thing out together. And I believe God is pushing us in this time to come together and stop separating, because that's always been a division in life, what I see. And correct me if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's always division. I don't care on what level. It's always somebody see it this way, somebody saw it that way. When is it going to come time when we both see it the same? When we both say, you know what? Okay, wow, if I don't know that way, then let me try, especially if it's not negative. Because I see too many times people do negative things. They just jump out there with it. Something seems to be positive. It seems like it's going to work. We need to sometimes just take a leap of whatever faith, whatever action towards it, and make it happen, man. What do you think about that, Steve?
Well, you said a lot in that statement, Chap. I'm gonna try to break it down best when I can. The way I see it, from my perspective, my point of view, you know what I mean? I feel like it's more, and I'm not pointing a finger, because at the end of the day, I've learned, even with my parents, I've learned to accept, you know what I mean? I've learned to see and don't see. I've learned to protect my, you know what I mean? So, and the only way I can do that is, just go with my own understanding. Hey, like, think or say or do anything, but I can understand what I can understand. And if you want to go out there, hey, there's nothing I'm gonna still love you the same. I'm gonna speak that's my point. Hey, but and one thing I'm also gonna do, I'm also gonna strategize. Like they say, pray for the best, prepare for the worst. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm at with it. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, like with myself, my parents, I thank God for giving me the knowledge, wisdom to think, like, you know what I mean, for foresight, you know what I mean, so I can see things before they happen, and like I say, man, I'm just thankful, my thing is, long story short, I don't know, Travis, because nobody's gonna say, I'm the problem. You know what I mean? You know how hard that is to say I'm the problem? You know what I mean? Like,
well,
like
growth, though.
Sir?
That's growing, though. I mean, no, it's people that will say that they're the problem. See, I think that's what needs to change. Whether they say they're the problem or not the problem, somebody got to be the one to say, this is what we're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It has to be leadership. Somebody has to take the lead on, because it's always going to be yay or nay.
Right.
It's always going to be. And with the eyesight, what God is saying is like, either you're going to be hot or cold.
Right.
Ain't no lukewarm, because
right.
he said he will spew you out of his mouth, meaning that there's no middle. There's no way you can sit in the middle and be straddling. Because if you're in the middle, you're straddling. You got one foot in one thing and you got one foot in another thing. So I believe it's time. We're talking centuries. We're talking centuries. This thing's been happening. Now we're in 2020. Now we have to say, wow, okay, if we look back and see all the wrongs, not just the wrongs, you see some right and stuff too, because if it wasn't right, I think God would allow this world to be destroyed. So it's right going on too. It's a lot of right going on.
Chap,
but I'm saying,
Chap, my thing is this, Chap, the way I see it, you know, I got confirmation today. You know what I mean? I ain't even talking about, you know, I would, you know, watch something, right? On Fox Business News Channel today. And it really tripped me out, you know, it really tripped me out. The guy he was a white guy, and he was speaking his perspective. He was speaking on, he was saying, okay, look, okay, NFL. Am I too loud, Chap? Echo?
Nah, you going in and out.
Okay. Okay. But anyway, the guy he on NFL. I mean, he was speaking on NFL. He was saying NFL is 90% African American players. You know what I mean? And he was saying like, okay, if y'all want to say that, you know, y'all want to say, okay, y'all, we without no league, without us, there's gonna be no league. And they just saying, okay, take the league out. What would y'all be? You know what I mean? Like, and it really kind of tripped me out because, man, it's like, whoa, you know what I mean? All these Rolls Royces y'all riding in. You know, the man just got a $500 million contract, you know, Mahomes. You know, and my thing is this. This one I'm at with. Just stop. You know what I mean? Just stop. Everybody stop. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. Just stop. We don't take time to stop and really understand how everything correlates with each other. Everything works for the greater good. Like everything works for the greater good. Do you know how much good is gonna come out of this? This thing is gonna be so beautiful. Like once it's said and done, like once everything, it's gonna be beautiful. Cause guess what? Nobody really wanna lose. The football players, they don't want to lose. We don't want to lose our communities. You know, nobody really want to lose. So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna put our best foot forward. See what I mean? And once we really see that, once we really, and it's really gonna be some magic going on. You know what I mean? Once we come together collectively, it's gonna be some magic going on. It's gonna really be some inspiring stuff. Like it's gonna take America to where it needs to be. Right now, America is not where it needs to be. That's why the problems is happening. Anytime problems is happening, it's a sign. It's a red flag. It's a problem. It's a problem. A problem is a problem.
But that's the problem. That's the major problem, the process. The process is always the problem. The process is always the problem because everybody's trying to get somewhere, but they're not trying to get there together. I believe that's a problem. Everybody's trying to get to this place, whatever place that is.
You're right, Chap. You're right until you said they're not trying to. We are trying to get together, but it's so many.
But I'm saying that's the problem. That's the challenge. That's going to be the challenge. The process. The process is always going to be the challenge because most people are disgruntled. Most people are getting frustrated. Most people are getting distracted because we have to learn how to lift each other up through the process is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, because we can sit here all night and say, because you see what's going on. Things are unraveling. And I believe before things happen good, before breakthrough, it has to be things breaking out. People have to break out of molds. So I mean, I hear exactly what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying. And just to add on to that, we for whatever reason, we learn different. A lot of us learn differently. We have different journeys.
Right.
You understand? We go through things differently. And then everybody wants to say, well, I went through it this way. Well, this happened to me. Instead of saying, okay, that's fine. So how can we do this then? And that's where we have to look. We have to look to one another. We have to lean on each other, lean into each other. That's the only way this thing is going to shape up the way that it's supposed to shape up, because it's too many casualties of war. Too many casualties. People are falling by the wayside. Do we have to have another 100,000 people die? Do we have to have another person getting shot in the community? Do we have to have another child, innocent child, getting murdered? Because we have conversation, but the thing is, God is saying, when are we going to go out there and put our foot on the ground and come together and say, let's move as one body? You know what I'm saying? That's what has to happen. Because at the end of the day, you know, a true leader allows others to shine when with no insecurity or hesitation.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? A true leader allows other people to shine. And so that's where we are, because we are leaders. Right. Us who's trying to lead, that's who we are. Right. But we have to allow the other leader to shine too, without feeling some kind of way. Oh, yeah. And I believe we need to get on that track more than anything, because we are people, we are aggressive people, Black people. I'm just speaking on Black people. We are very strong-willed, strong-minded to have even dealt with slavery. Right. You understand? Right. So now we here now it's about, boom, what are we going to do now? Are we going to do just like, okay, this incident that happened with Nick Cannon, that incident that happened with him, okay? He spoke his truth. But then they shut him down.
Hold on, Chap, time out. What I was just telling you about last, we ain't gonna talk about it. We're not gonna discuss it. But I want you to take what I was just telling you last night and what happened today. Now keep
yeah,
going.
that's not that.
We will talk about that.
Listen, I'm trying to get a point across with Nick Cannon. I'm talking about with us not owning things.
Right. Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
We're gonna talk about that later, though.
Us not owning, like Bill Cosby. Right. Everybody doodled on Bill Cosby. He was about to try to buy NBC, so he can hire some people. Bill Cosby was one of the ones. If you really search Bill Cosby out, he was one of the pioneers, one of the Black men that was really trying to get people to own their stuff. He the one that helped Oprah own her stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is this: we have to start having that mindset of owning. Michael Jordan wrote that book, The $1 Million Slave. You understand? So when Nick Cannon spoke his truth, because they didn't like it, because he was a slave to them, they cut him off. Then now he's trying to apologize. You feel what I'm saying? So however that is, all I'm seeing is like, wow, man, we have to own this stuff. Because I know I asked this question to somebody earlier. I was like, we got billionaires, we got multi-millionaires. Why ain't we buying networks? Why can't we buy these things whereas they can't do that? That's the problem.
Because it's hard to bring Black people together. Let me just be honest. It's hard, man. It is hard. You know what I mean? It is hard. Even if you make it to the top, even if y'all make it, it's gonna be people that's your own people. You know what I mean?
That's okay. That's what's been happening. That's the mindset. Crabs in the bucket. They use that scenario on us. Crabs in the bucket. You understand? But the bottom line is, man, me personally, man, that's what God is trying to get us to see and do.
Man,
He
like,
don't want he don't want us, as many as people, because somebody got to break through. Somebody got to say, yo, listen, you know what? As hard as it may seem, I'm trying to do that. I don't know how it's gonna happen. That's why I'm trusting in God and not man.
right.
Okay. That's why I got to lean on God and not man. I'm gonna lean on man for moral support. But spiritual support, I have to stay connected. Marketplace Ministry, we have to stay connected to God, because he's going to navigate us through what's going on, because that's a stigma in our community. We were taught, yeah, black people, when next one get up, the black man is going to bring them down. So that's what we live by. That's what we live by. That has to die. That has to die. That has to die. And guess what? I'm willing to combat it. Me personally, that's my method in this madness, is trying to say, no, I know some black people that's willing to fight this fight. But the bottom line is the infiltration, most of the time it comes from us.
Hey,
go ahead.
Like my boy Bishop, right? I'm gonna take him for an example. You know, he doing something right now. He promote everybody on his page. Like, he don't even care who you, as long as you legit and you got something going on. He promote. He not charge you or nothing. Man, back then, man, when Instagram first got like popping, man, our people was charging us just to post on their page, man. They probably still do. You know what I mean?
But check it out. That's changed. So we got to be the example now. Just like, okay, we can sit up and say the church has been doing injustice in our community. 85, I would say a lot of it is true, but I'm not going to put them down in the mud. But guess what? God says we be the church. We have to be the church, because we can't keep looking at what people have done and what they're going to do. They're going to keep doing that till Jesus come back. So we got to be the ones to not do that. That's what Marketplace Ministry is trying to push out there. We have to put out there, like, you know what, regardless of what everybody else is doing negative, we got to stay focused and stay on point and push what we supposed to push out there. You understand what I'm saying? So I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Not because it's always going to be negativity. It's always going to be trial and error. So now, we all these brilliant minds, all these like minds, all these minds. Somebody need to get some place where they're steadfast and unmovable,
right? To
the point of saying, you know what? I've seen that. See, God, we already seen that already happen centuries ago. So now we're in 2020. Now we're still going to follow suit because we saw it. If we saw it, we should know how to navigate around that thing. Because at the end of the day, we're going to keep getting snagged. We're going to keep getting caught. Because I know plenty of people that's powerful. They like, man, I ain't messing with that. You know why? Because they feel the same way a lot of people feel. Man, all they're going to do is bring up. My mother used to say to me all the time, she said, black people are going to be made to come together. That's not good. That's not good. So we're looking at other people that might have to die, might have other kids that might have to get shot, innocent kids. Somebody, see, the thing really gets real when it hits home. Like, we can see on the news somebody's niece or little daughter got murdered. That thing crushes me. But man, what if it may hit your home? It may hit your home. So how you going to continue to deal? You going to continue to sit back? But we can't do this thing in anger. We can't do this thing as confusion. We got to do this thing strategically. And that's what we're doing every day, getting on here, putting out the truth as best we can. And God is going to allow us to connect. But when you keep rehashing the old mess, it's okay to reflect. It's okay to reflect. He said reflect, but he didn't say dwell. He says reflect and keep it moving. Because when you reflect on your past, you're like, okay, wow, that was hurtful. Slavery was hurtful. I get that. I got that. but I'm not going to let nobody keep me there. In my mind, in my heart, I'm not going to let nobody say, yo, man, you better remember slavery, man. You know what they did to us. Come on, you're going to keep me stuck. You're going to keep me stuck. So now I know what went on. I pay attention to history, his story. It wasn't my story. It wasn't my story. You feel me? It was not my story. So I'm not going to dwell on that. I'm going to reflect on that and say, okay, God, show me a better way how I can reach my people. Show me a better way. And he's doing that. God is doing that. But we have to digest it, what he's given us, and we have to put it out there. We have to put it out there because the white man, no, he ain't never going to come in our neighborhood to fix this. He's not going to do that. We have to fix this. We have to wrong the right. We have to right the wrong, I mean. We have to right the wrong, meaning that whatever happened back then, I think if anything, we owe it to our community to say, you know what, man, if I'm all that daggone smart and intelligent, how can I help my people come up? How can I help my people come up? Not just help this area over here. I'm talking about my people in general, like we're on now. We're talking to everybody right now who's on Instagram, who's ever on this page. You understand? We seeking their help to come. They're whatever they trying to do better in the community. This should be where they should come. Just like when they put stuff out there, we follow them. We should jump with them and say, okay, whoa, this is what you got going on. How can we assist you?
But you know,
you see what I'm saying?
You know, this like a system of mine, man. You know, some of the things that you're saying, like really, I obsess about that. Like, you know, like like you so smart. You know, think of a way for your people. You know.
Yeah, well, you know, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about communicate. We're talking about collaborating. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna say this again: a true leader allows others to shine with no insecurity or hesitation. A true leader, when you ain't got nothing, when you don't mind giving a platform, bigging somebody up because you know they can add on to what you're doing. That's what it's all about. It ain't all about me, I. Ain't no I and we. So if we continue to move the way we think we need to move, being selfish towards other people, we have to humble ourselves. You know what I mean? What was you saying, my brother?
Yeah, I was saying I obsess about that. Like I tell myself, like, you know, if you feel like you're so smart, you know, figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I'm at with it. Like, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, even my family. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really, and I'm not bragging or nothing like that. You know, I just feel like I come to a place of understanding to where it's like I said, I can't make nobody do nothing to say nothing, but you know, I can influence. You know what I mean? I can give. You know, I can think. You know what I'm saying? I can do things like that, but I can't make nobody do nothing. So. You know, my thing.
And it's not about that. It's not even about making, because you're right. We can't make. That's something my mom's told me. But my mom's is angry. My mom's was disgruntled. She's picked cotton. She picked potatoes down here in the South. She had to wear boy clothes in school. So she had a hard touch of that slavery bull crap. So, but she was angry when she told me, but I understand what she was saying. So I'm not going to get angry no more. I'm just going to do something about it. And whoever comes together, comes together. That's the bottom line. Whoever comes together, comes together. See, that's where I'm at right now. It's not about me. Like I said, God said all he needs is a few good men. God don't need a whole bunch of people. He needs people that's willing and able to do this work. So at the end of the day, we don't have to toil like we used to have to toil. He's given us knowledge and wisdom to understand how to come together. He gave us social media. He gave us this tool here. So through man set this tool up. We're using it for the right reason. So now we're going to connect and get people aboard that's got the same fire we got. You understand? And then we're going to come together. and we gonna come together. And so at the end of the day, there's no big eyes and little U's. We all are in this, so we all gonna complement one another with what God is saying to do. And this is the best time to me, because right now we as they call it, a pandemic. Yo, things God. See, everybody thought when 2020 came in, there was a lot of stuff talk. Yo, 2020 vision. That sound good. Yo, 2020 vision. That sound good. God said, okay, I'm gonna turn the heat up. I'm gonna turn the heat up because y'all think y'all, you know what I'm saying? Because that's like when they was trying to climb up to heaven. They were so determined. Man was so determined. God says, no. Oh, y'all working together like that? Oh, let me change some languages now. Now they started falling because man can get so adamant in what he's doing, but he goes off. God has to have true leaders to lead. But the bottom line is a lot of us are leaders. Most of us are leaders. We got a lot of leaders, but we have to know our lane. We have to know that we all can do this together. We all play an important part in this thing. Like I told you before, Marketplace Ministry, this is how God showed me how Marketplace Ministry was. We are a big puzzle. Right. But we got missing pieces in that puzzle. And we need people to connect, to add to our puzzle. So that way we can move as one body. It don't matter who got it, the puzzle. We have to fill those pieces, those missing pieces in. Like if somebody has a puzzle somewhere else, we have to help fill those pieces in. That's the only way we're gonna move forward. That's the only way. And ain't nobody doing this by themselves. Nah, God didn't set it up like that. Right. It ain't set up like that. So we have to come together as one body. You understand? We pick up so many ways, so many wicked ways, you know what I'm saying? We have all kinds of mentalities that we're dealing with. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm gonna be straight honest with you. A lot of us has division. People have division, meaning division. You understand? So you have to be very mindful of who you're dealing with, because when you come together, it shouldn't be no braggadocious crap going on. It should be uplifting. It should be empowering. It should be encouraging. When you don't see the encouraging, when you don't see the empowering, when you don't see the uplifting, something's wrong. Something's wrong. When a person's like, yo, I'm gonna do this. Nah, that's a red flag. That's a red flag, because that's singular. You know what I mean? When somebody's coming like, oh, they can do. Nah, it ain't about just you. It's about us. It's about we. And that's where we have to get to. We have to grow in that area. And you know, I'm willing to grow every single day. I'm willing to die to myself every single day and see what God, see the purpose. We have to chase God's purpose, not our purpose. You know what I'm saying? We got to get our purpose off the table and chase God's purpose. God's purpose will win all the time. And then if we get snagged, he'll pull us out. But if we chasing our purpose, most of our purpose is stink money. That's most of our purpose, for real. It used to be mine. It used to be my purpose. Man, I want to be rich. I didn't know what I wanted to be rich for. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be rich to show people, I'm flossing. Oh, I got it like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not what God intended. That's why he gave Solomon, King Solomon, he made King Solomon the richest man and the wisest man in the world, because all the other kings, they was asking for materials. Solomon was the only one asked for wisdom. And God said, because you asked me for wisdom, I'm gonna make you wise, and I'm gonna make you the wisest and the richest in the land. So that didn't mean
it go hand in hand.
Right. And so the bottom line is, we just have to continue to grow. We just have to allow ourselves to grow, and don't beat ourselves up. Like normally I used to beat the hell out of myself.
I mean, with frustration and just, oh man, this ain't gonna work. Oh my God, now alienating myself. And that's what we do too. We alienate because we think we got it all together. We think we got the answers. We think we could do this. No, 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 no. That devil is too clever for that. The devil see you by yourself.
Right.
God says you will be wise as a serpent. So devil see you when you moving as one man. You moving by yourself. He gonna bust your head. That's what he do. That's what he do. So we have to come together and put this strength together. That's why the young and the old has to come together. We have to learn how to help each other and love, the agape love each other and pull each other up. Because you can't denounce the older ones. No, you can't denounce the younger ones. It's a reason why it's the old and the young. It's a reason why. In most cases, they die off and not cover ground. Look at Moses. Look at Joshua. Moses was banished before he went. Moses, he led all those people out of bondage, but he didn't make it to the promised land. You know why? He got angry. He got disgruntled with the people. And that's what we got to be careful of. He got angry, and God says, if you strike that rock, you out of here. And he came off that mountain, Mount Sinai, when his brother Aaron was the high priest. He was butt naked freaking. Moses was like, man, you nigga, you crazy. He went off. See, the Bible to me is a book of stories, is a book of testimonies that we need to learn from. Like we're in leadership right now. We got to lead by example. We got God's example though, but we learn from others' mistakes. A wise man learns from others' mistakes. Right. So we have to learn how to tap in to God, and then we can see what's wrong and what's right. So we ain't struggling with wrong and right. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, and it's like I said, it's a process, but it's doable. God said it's doable. You know what I mean? Long as we stay focused and we can't get sidetracked. Ain't nobody sidetracking me, bro. I done been so cracked open in God's trying to walk with God to where I have to line up, because if I don't line up, then I don't want to do this. There's no need for me trying to do this then. Why am I doing this then? If I'm going to be hard-headed and trying to do it on my own, there's no reason. I know the fruit behind that. You lose. You can't win that way. You lose.
It's impossible.
Right. So it's time to lock in and come together with these great minds and sit down at the table and say, even God says, bring your enemies to the table and feed them and eat with them, because they got some answers too. He said the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. Come on, he listen. God He allowed anything to help his mission. Anybody to help his mission.
Thanks.
So we have to really understand how God is really moving in this time, man. Now, I ain't just sitting in this pandemic. See, before the pandemic came, I was in my lab.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? I ain't just started this because of the pandemic. Man, I was doing this before the pandemic. Now here, it ain't affecting me like that. It's not affecting me. Right. You understand what I'm saying? I check on my family best as I can. You know what I mean? He said, how do you feel about the Holy Quran? Man, the Holy Quran got some truth in it too. The Holy Quran has some truth in it. It's all derived to me from the word of God. It has some truth in it. You know? Go ahead.
My opinion about stuff like that, about the Holy Quran and, other, whatever, beliefs, it's just like me. Like, I'm going to use myself for an example, or a chap on level, man, period. We are only four-dimensional. You know what I mean? We're on the four-dimensional. You know what I mean? However, we wear many hats. We can be a father, we can be a son, we can be a uncle, we can be a cousin. you know, we can be all these different things. You know what I mean? And I believe that's the same thing with God. You know, it's just a different version of way to talk about it. You know what I mean? You can't talk about me as me being your friend as the same way my daughter can by me being her father. You know what I mean? Like that's just how I feel about it. It just comes from different points of view, different perspectives. The same thing though, but I don't know. I'm like I don't use ask the question. How do we feel about the Holy Quran? That's how I feel about it. Even though I haven't read it
Okay.
or nothing like that. But go ahead, Champ.
How I feel about the Holy Quran, I feel about it like any book of any kind. The Bible, the Holy Quran, the Torah. We can go on and on, you know, about books, religious books. So at the end of the day, you better have more revelation and information, because all of it's a lot of information. So if you don't get revelation, then you're gonna be lost. If you don't hear from God, you see, reading any book of any type of theology, because that's all it is theology. You understand? It's theologians. That's what they study. They study the books, the religious books and stuff. But they had the Pharisees and the Sadducees back in the day, and they were straight crooks. But they walked around with holy Bibles. They walked around with this and that. So they lived foul. So you can't look at what you read. You got to look at what people do. Even what people say. You can't go by what people say. Like when you hear a messenger, all you are to get from that messenger is his message. And then you study to show yourself approved. Right. You can't listen to a messenger and he's talking one way, but then he's walking another way. He could have told the truth, but then he's still living a certain life. You can't look at his life and say he's a liar, because that God gonna deal with him. But if he told you some truth, you take the truth. Just like they say, you take the fish and spit out the bones. Right. Bottom line. So you know, the bottom line is we can't get caught up in just talk, if that's what I'm saying. I think the more we do and the less we talk, the more results we're gonna have. You understand? Because what's gonna happen, people gonna challenge talk. People gonna challenge talk. Now, if you being truthful, then God will help you bring it to where it's not about a challenge to you. Now, whatever they do, that's what they do. Because whatever you eat ain't gonna make me fat. You know what I'm saying? For real. So that's the bottom line. So now we gotta seek God's face, man, and he's gonna give us the answers, man. He's gonna give us revelation, whether it be a dream, whether it be, listen, on my job today, I got so much revelation off my job today, man, it was crazy. Wow. But at the end of the day, what am I gonna do with that revelation? You know what I'm doing with the revelation? I'm doing what I'm doing now. Speaking on this social media, but I'm saying we have to move more than we talk. Right. Let's talk less and move more. You feel what I'm saying? It's all about moving more and talking less nowadays. I don't want to just be known by lip service. I don't want to be known. I want to be known by going to help one of them young people out in the street, or even an older person, to understand that we got your back, because this is what we're doing. You feel what I'm saying? I don't want to be like, yo, God is good, da, 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 speaking all that old yada, yada, yada. Come on, man. Right now, to be honest with you, man, people are inundated with talk, with information. They're tired of information. Man, that's what we get. It's information all over the place. Can we move forward by doing something? Let's start even if it ain't nothing but a football game. Let's set up a football game and bring people together. Anything to bring people together, and then when they get there, then we hit them with the truth. Then when they go about their business, first of all, we can't just bring them together, we got to feed them too. Not just words, but natural food. So many ways we can do this. So Bishop, when I come to Houston, brother, be ready to fire your grill up. Be ready to fire your grill up. We're gonna be giving hot dogs away, water, bottles of water, putting this work out there, man, so we can bring our people together. so God can really pour into what we're trying to do. That's what we're about. Basketball tournaments, father and son tournaments, mother and daughter dances. We got to do stuff like that to bring people together. I believe that's our mandate. That's Marketplace Ministries' mandate. God is giving us instructions because he knows we're creative people. So we know how to create. So we create these things for our community. So that way we can make some leadway in what we're trying to do, because it's important for us to pour into this youth. We have to pour into this because the blood ain't going to be on my hand. Right. Outreach church in the streets. Right. Because we're a church without walls. We're a church without walls, but we're going to go inside the church and lift them up too. See, we're going to do something different that ain't nobody doing. We're going to go inside the church and let the pastors know that we got their back. But let us rock or shut your church down. Yeah, let us rock because you need help. They need help. Because the Apostle Paul wasn't playing with the churches in the Old Testament. If he saw you dragging your feet and you playing games with people's souls, man, he'll have your head. So we ain't doing it like that, but we gonna come similar to that. You know what I'm saying? We coming similar to that. We coming with, you know, we ain't scared. This God ain't giving us the spirit of fear. He's giving us a sound mind to combat the hell that's going on. Man, you know, don't you know, man? Don't you know our communities are rich? We rich, man. But that's why Satan don't want us to see we rich. So all kind of stuff is anywhere where there's a lot of hell, man, it's a lot of richness there. Because Satan trying to keep that territory. But just like the man when he cut himself in the tombs, God had to show him, Jesus had to show him who he was. So now he had to get the devil out of there. So now he took the territory back. We have to take our territory, man. Men, I'm talking to the men. The women are already there. So I ain't really talking to women already there. They waiting. The women already waiting. It's us men that need to line up. We need to help these boys out, become men, so they can raise their families and don't make the mistakes we made. That's what we got to do. Teach. Each one, teach one. Pull each other up. So that's what Marketplace Ministry is about. And the more we get on here, like I said, I'm getting ready to light a fire in Raleigh, North Carolina, and New York, where I come from. I'm getting ready to visit New York again shortly. Then I'm coming to Houston. We're gonna set this thing off for real. We're gonna blaze a trail. We're gonna fire Houston up. Our fire, I'm praying that our fire knock that COVID out of there. Because Texas is flaming right now. And I believe the sons are not showing up the way they're supposed to. The hidden masters, we need to come and bring healing to that situation. You know what I mean? I ain't just coming to Houston to eat some ice cream and go watch a movie. Nah, I'm coming for battle. I'm coming for battle. This is serious, man. That devil need to take his hands off our people, man. But we got to come correct. We got to come with the spirit of God in us, not foolishness, man. I'm not going to mess with no woman in Texas. I don't want no woman in Texas. I'm just going to put that out there. When I get to Texas, I'm about God's business, period. And that's how we move it. I ain't out there for no jokes. I ain't out there for no games. So when you come to me with that foolishness, I'm telling you, your hand might draw up. Because God told me witches, warlocks, they have to reveal themselves. So we coming the way we need to come, people. But we got, guess what? Let's enjoy this process, man. You know, I'm going to get something out of life. I'm not just going to exist. I'm going to live. You know what I mean? Even in this craziness, we still ain't got it worse than what it was back in the Bible days. Heck no. Nah, it was so crazy because the revelation wasn't widespread like it is now. God is speaking to us, man. So I appreciate Bishop. You know, what's my other brother's name that got on?
Tupac.
Yeah. I appreciate y'all getting on, man. I appreciate all y'all getting on because this is serious. Yo, we brothers, man. I am my brother's keeper. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you ain't got to know me for 20, 30 years. You know me now. You know me now. So we got to get off of that too and lift each other up, and let's make this happen. Let's make this happen. So yeah, but you know, again, everything is love, man. Everything is about what God is doing in this time. And let's show up and let's show up and let God show out. You understand? That's the deal. Us showing up and let God show out. Period. That's our mandate. You know what I'm saying? That's our mandate. So yeah, but it's all good, man. Keith, you got anything else you want to say?
Yeah, man. You know, stay positive, man. One thing I gotta learn, man, about life is nothing's never as bad as it seems, man. You know, some things it can get bad, like right now, what's going on, pandemic, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But like I was saying earlier, man, it's gonna be something so beautiful coming out of this pandemic, man. It's gonna be a new world order. That's what we're talking about. Like you can't expect for it to have bad and no good. That don't make sense. You know what I mean? So, like I say, they tuned us, man. We're blazing right now. We blazing a trail, crazy path for everybody come through, man. It's gonna be beautiful, man. It's gonna be beautiful. And we not, even though we talking about it, we not just talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, even though this is conversation, this is just not conversation. This is a business. You know what I mean? This is actual, factual action. You know what I mean? This is action behind the business. You know what I mean?
Right.
We could have conversation on the phone, by ourselves, you know what I mean? But we put this into action to make sure we utilize all our resources to make sure that what we talk about in private come to public, you know what I mean? Because we build off each other, you know what I mean? And we both believe strongly that that's what we need to combat this. A lot of things like crabs in a bucket, you know what I mean? Like, y'all, just talk to me, before you go want to hate on them or kill them, go holler at them. You know what I mean? See if you can get down with them, Before you rob them, go see how you got a job for them or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
Man.
Right.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be that bad, man. So, we actually doing more than just talking right now. We put it out to the public of how to talk. You know what I mean? Because me and Chad don't agree on everything. You know what I mean? Like, but at the end of the day, we make it work. You know what I mean? We have enough mutual respect for each other to say, hey, we just gonna throw the water on, paint up, and see what come out. You know what I mean? Like that's just what happened. Like I'm not gonna go nowhere. We're gonna keep doing it. And later on, it'll come back. You know what I mean? I don't even look at it whether we right or wrong. You know what I mean? I look at it as a learning list. Who needs to learn something? Because I don't say because it's your opinion. You know what I mean? So you can't be wrong about your opinion. You know what I mean? But your opinion can be uplifted and educated if something comes to educate you or somebody. You know what I mean? Like an event or something like that comes to educate you. Your opinion can be a little bit more stronger. You know what I mean? So, like I say, y'all, long story short, man, to keep riding with us, man. We gonna go out looking through the. We gonna go everywhere, man. Marketplace Ministry, man. We here to stay, man. Just keep riding with us.
Right. And just before we cut out, just helping understand and being understood. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Because we all in this together. You know what I'm saying? So ain't no big eyes and little U's. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna continue to hear from God and the best way you can, and we come together and make it happen, man. That's what we do. That's what we're gonna do. And I'm excited about it because, man, to get a mandate from God, are you kidding me? This ain't come from the president. This came from God. This came from the spirit of God to say, because he trusts us enough to do this. I wouldn't be, listen, man, you can't do this work without his stamp. There's no way. There's no way. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't want to do it. because it's too much. It's too much. But with God, all things are possible. You know what I mean? All things are possible. And so, you know, I'm honored to be on this walk, on this mission. You know what I'm saying? Because this mission, not co-mission. You know what I mean? Because I know God is leading us in the right direction as long as we follow him. And even when it comes against our belief, it's something that we have to tear down in us. You know what I mean? And the more you connect with God, the more he'll tear that stuff down. The more you ask him to burn that stuff out of you, he'll burn it out of you. And then you will see clearer. Then you'll start listening with the ears of your heart, not the ears on your head. You know what I mean? Because the ears on your head, a lot of times, it's a lot of noise up there. You understand? But the ears of your heart, once it hit here, man, that's where that blood is pumping. That's where it's real at, when it hits here. That's when you know it's real. So you know, we just gonna continue to move forward. We're gonna continue to pray for each other. I'm gonna ask y'all to lift us up in prayer. Keep our families in prayer. We're gonna keep y'all families in prayer. You know, whomever, your mom, your dad, your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? Even if you have somebody that lost their life in this COVID, man, we stand in the gap and we stand in agreement for peace. We pray peace over your families, you know, that surpasses all understanding. Shalom. You know what I mean? So nothing missing, nothing broken, you know, and if anything, we got to do this for the betterment of others. You know, if God has blessed you, it ain't about you no more. Because if you can sit up and call yourself blessed, then you have to be a blessing. You have to be a blessing. You can't be a blessing if you ain't blessed. If you call yourself blessed, then you have to bless others. Right. And that's where we at. So we're gonna sign off, and until tomorrow, same time, 8 o'clock, jump back on with us. But like I said, in the near future, we coming at you. And like I said, our page will be up. You know, we working on this hopefully by this week. You know what I'm saying? By next week, our stuff will be up and popping, where you can go on our website and really get some solid information, so that way you'll see how we move it, not just our lip service. All right? So y'all be blessed. God loves you. We love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Peace.